Hi, this is Willem138 with my review and take on Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I was lucky enough to see this film last night at midnight, sort of an advanced screening, if you will, before the actual launch date, which is today. So yeah, I went into this film being an Indiana Jones fan. I have loved the movie so much, and I've been waiting about 5, maybe 4 years for the fourth part. I mean, it's always been in the air. It's been on the internet. People have always heard about it, and it wasn't officially announced until about 2 years ago. After right near when Spielberg was about to do Munich or so, he mentioned that his next film would be Indiana Jones 4. Now, first off the bat, I can say that I did enjoy the film somewhat. There were more than parts that I enjoyed. There were more parts that I hated and despised, and that's where the all these negative and good and bad reviews. It's wishy-washy. But that's the problem with the film, is it's really wishy-washy. It's either good or it's bad. And there's like always parts that are really good that can overlap the bad ones, but there's just as many as bad ones that can overlap the good ones. For example, there is one part in later in the story where Shia LaBeouf's character is thrown off of a car in the Amazon, and he's pulled up by a vine, and all these monkeys are near him, and they start to swing on vines, so he starts to do it too. So all of a sudden, like, his character, who is a greaser in New York City or whatever, has turned into a monkey swinging, like, vine jungle boy for some reason. So he thinks he can catch up with the cars by swinging on the vines, and he actually does. But it was just one of the really ridiculous scenes of the film, which are among many. Now, one of the good scenes about actually with him, surprisingly, is that a lot of people were saying that Shia's character, even Steven's character, sorry, would not be really good and would possibly be the Jar Jar Binks of the series. That's not really true, because his character was actually good. He did a good job. It's likable. One of the best scenes, I think my favorite scene in the film, is where he's on a car with his mom, who is actually Marion Ravenwood, is his mom, and he's having a sword fight with Cate Blanchett's character. It's really, really neat scene to see. So yeah, the bad stuff about it. Okay, the bad stuff about this film. Mainly, when they made this film, they should have told George Lucas to stay the hell away from the script, and maybe just keep his stance as a producer, or just some kind of executive, just something to overlook everything and say, okay. Just the fact that he helped on the story, you can easily tell he did it too. You can easily tell that he wrote this. Off the bat, I'm just going to say it. Aliens. That is it. This film has to do with aliens. It's ridiculous. Okay, I can see that a lot of science fiction guys, like, Star Wars and shit, would dig it, but this is Indiana Jones. This is not aliens. This is not E.T. This is not anything. You didn't need to put aliens in the fucking story. They had a better story in The Fate of Atlantis, and that was a fucking computer game. Like, at the beginning of the film, it takes place in Area 51, which actually happens to be this warehouse storage place seen in Raiders of the Lost Ark. So they took that mysterious warehouse-looking place and said, hey, let's just slap Area 51 on it. Like, at the very beginning of the film, they're trying to find Indy and Mac, the fellow archaeologist played by Ray Winstone, are trying to find just a box with magnetic stuff in it. You don't really find out until later, and it happens to be the box with the body of the alien from Roswell, the crash landing, which Indy actually was brought to, and he investigated it. But he wasn't sure, he wasn't told what it was. They just said that it was a mutilated crash landing or something like that. Yeah, the whole movie has to do with the Russians being interested in the paranormal and all that stuff, and they want to get these crystal skulls that have to do with Aztec and Mayan culture, which also have to do with gods, and it's pretty much these aliens are considered their gods, which is why the crystal skull's head shape is long and it looks like an alien's. Another bad thing about the movie, though, is a lot of corny parts, just little jokes that were referenced to the other films. Like, it's nice to do one or two, like there was one part where even Stevens, sorry, and Indiana Jones are on a motorcycle, and they're being chased by KGB agents or something in New York or whatever, around the school area that Indy teaches at. And at the end of the chase, the KGB agents, they drive into a statue of Marcus, who has died already, but he is referenced through the film, mostly at the beginning. Like, you see photos of him and stuff throughout the school. And anyways, they crash into the statue of Marcus, and the head flies through the windshield and like lands on a guy's lap, and it's just Marcus's face, and you laugh. And then